What's up, everyone? I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get done because it's going to probably rain here in a little bit, but I figure I could probably get at least a couple more of these things up on the van here. So I need to do another one here, and whichever one I pick, I need to do to where it fills this in. Still, this paint's still peeling off of this fan. There's not anything I could really do about it. There's horrible primer and paint GM used on this thing. Try this stencil here. Stencils are on solid. I think anything I actually paint over on the van kind of seals the paint in, but still, like, I want to go about right there with this one. Actually, that'd be easier to do this. So I'm ordering a special giant stencil. I don't really know how big it is, but it's supposed to be like the size of a giant poster board basically. And I want to put it over everything once it's done. And it's like, has little holes in it. So when you spray it, it'll make everything kind of look like a giant confetti or whatever. I was going to use some like cool paint for that. You know, do different colors. So it'll be like paint splotch all over the side of the van. It'll look like it's supposed to be that way. Now the bottom I have to put a layer of paper down or it will drip onto everything. You see that one? I'm just going to go about that length. Oops. Actually, one thing I'd like to do real quick. Hold up, actually I got an idea. Keep it from dripping in between that thing. Oh, this tape is horrible. The worst painting tape ever. Fucking rips when you try and. Oh my god. Alright. I got more tape in here. Fucking tape sucks. I should have bought more paint tape When I was at the Family Dollar, I think they sell it there too. I forgot. I needed more, so I'm not stuck with this shitty one. I just gotta go a little bit wider on the sides. It's a lot of work for one stencil. Use this other tape for this. It's kind of like hanging out here. There we go. All right. Good. Let it dry for a couple seconds. Oh, I gotta run in the house and grab my tree line stencils. I wanted to do just trees in front of here, which then I could fill that spot in and just kind of fill this up with trees. So it takes about like 10 minutes to dry, typically, before it's safe to peel it off. Oh no, I'm almost out of this good paint tape. There's probably another roll in the garage under everything that's out there somewhere. Probably got a whole nother roll. Spent. Alright, I need another piece of paper. This other tape that I have just is a lot thinner and also less sticky and wide. I don't really care for it too much. But it should get the job done, at least on this side of the van. Let me get this done and over with. Oh, cool, I got another thing of paper. Hey. Let's not fucking do that, huh? Hey, fucking stupid wind, dude. Let's not fucking fly up and ruin my fucking paintball truck. Now I gotta deal with this. Yeah, every time I try and do this, it was not windy at all when I first walked out here, and now that I'm trying to do this, it gets windy immediately. Alright, we'll do this side. Hopefully this comes out okay. Good. Let that dry. And then I got to do another one here and here. And I'm going to do trees, so. Let's see if I could open my other phone to read chat. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing good today. Yes, I was able to get the van completely working. The only code that still shows up is just an evap code, but that's not like anything that's gonna make it break down right now, so I'll deal with that next week when I can. But there's no more codes for the cylinders misfiring. All those seem to be pretty good. Looks like I need to add a little bit more here. I still have to do clear code on everything too. Yeah, and then even with the evap, like when I reset the code, like the entire drive down the PA, there was no check engine light on, and then like there was no check engine light coming back until I parked the van at I think it was Family Dollar, the last place I stopped at. The check engine light came on when the van started revving, and it only does that when it's in park, but when it's driving, everything seems to be functioning the way it should be. So I don't know. It's old. It could just have a bad sensor. It could just be a small vacuum leak. There's like multiple things it can be, but it's not affecting how it drives, which is good. I definitely saved myself some money doing it myself. Yeah, so when this is all done, I'm gonna do like the bigger splatter stencils on top of it, and I'd like to do like maybe show you guys the color. I was thinking this would look cool. Like maybe splatter it with like this dark green kind of color on top to give it that wintry forest like fill in sort of. I could use different ones too. Like I can, do different stencils and I could use a green. I could do a little bit of like snowy white color to where it's a little bit brighter than what's on the van. I'll also probably do a little bit of the splatter with the black to make it look on purpose like there's some black in with it too. I was going to do the forest with the green, but it would have been tough to not also get it in the mountain, so I just kept everything for now black. Alright, let me get my gloves. I can actually show you guys the old distributor I took out. Oops. This came out of it. So this is the old distributor. You can see right there, the piece, oop, it just fell off. The metal that was fracturing off of this thing. And then the disc that was in here was completely burnt up. So this 100% was what was wrong with the misfiring. Look at that, from top to bottom. How's that look? So now it looks like this is like a whole valley, and then you got the mountains up there. Got turkeys in this one too. So I'll have to wait for this to fully dry before I can remove the stencil. It doesn't dry on the paper that quickly. Oh my god, dude. Literally the loudest trucks driving by right now. So, I was saying this yesterday with the stealth camping. If I get myself a nice sized magnet, I can make up whatever I want to say on it. Like, I could say Cameron's Plumbing Service or whatever. And just, if I'm going to be doing urban camping, I could literally just put the magnet up over this. That's why I'm only going to a certain point. But even with like the splatter paint around it, it would go along with like the magnet, or they'd think it was a utility van. And you're not going to really see the solar panels on top. Everything's just going to be flat, including the Starlink. It's just going to be flat when I'm driving. So, unless you're like on a ladder or, you know, on top of a building looking down, you're not going to be able to tell that. The van's still going to relatively look kind of like a utility van on the outside of it. That's good, nothing dripping this time. So I have to wait for that one to finish so I can do the next set of trees. Just kind of work my way this way and fill all this in with trees. I got this one too. But I don't know though, because this is going to be a lot of black. I may not use this one. This is the only one I didn't like because that's too much just going to be like a black spot. But I got this one too. I haven't used this one yet. Maybe. No, because it's got the mountain in it. It would have to be like. Nah. I'm just going to leave it and then just do trees underneath because it has a mountain in it, I can't use it on this side anymore because I don't have room. It would look stupid if the mountain was down here because they're up there. But I can do this one on the other side, so it will look different on the other side. I'll do this on the other side. Let's see what other... Most of these stencils that I have all mountains in them. Oh man, they're all fucking stuck together. I've already used these. Haven't used that one yet. Oh, I wish I would have seen this one. I would have used this one first. Or at least this one in the middle. I'm gonna keep all my mountain stencils together. So that's all the mountains. And these are more trees. Yep, more trees. So that one is this one, which I can just continue with the forest. Alright, should be able to take this off now. Paint dries on the van very quickly, but on the paper it doesn't. But as long as it's dried on the van, the feel this, it should be good. This one sucks. I don't like this one. I really don't like this one. Let me go over it again. Alright, well, that one needed more paint, I guess. It's not filling in right. I think when the stenciling is done, a awesome sunset in the back. Oh yeah, you're right. Which actually, you know what? I can get a sun stencil or whatever, right? And what I could do is I can like maybe get like a nice orange paint and then like a little bit of a yellow, and I could take tape and go halfway through the sun with the orange and then flip it and then do the yellow and maybe kind of put it right here and cover this spot, put it in between like it's coming up or going down behind the mountains. That's actually a good idea, thank you. I'm sure I can get like a nice sun stencil or whatever. That would be kind of cool. And then actually, if I have the splatter stencils, I can go over the top of the mountains with them and maybe just hit everything lightly with some like orange spots. So it'll look like the sun shining down on the mountains. That would be pretty cool. It would just look like little tiny orange dots everywhere on the mountains. But honestly, I had no idea what to really do with the side of the van to make it look a little bit better. Because to have the whole van completely stripped and repainted professionally would cost more money than the van's even worth. So the only other thing is I could have the van wrapped, but that would just be stupid. So stencil artwork, or having somebody that knows how to paint murals. Like my cousins, if my cousins lived in New York, I could probably ask them to help me do a mural painting on my van, but they're a lot more talented than I am with spray painting. But yeah, I think like for something cheap, like a cheap fix or whatever, that still kind of looks cool, this is probably my best option here. And I picked mountains and forest and, you know, wildlife because that's where I'm going to be going, is like places like this, you know. So it makes sense. Still a little bit. a reservoir behind the trees. That'd be cool. See, if I was like not nervous about messing all of this up, and I had like a really good freehand with spray paint, which I don't think I do, I honestly would get like some light baby blue and do like a sky, and then get some stencils to make, you know, some white clouds over it. But I just don't really think I can do it without making it look like shit. So I'm using stencils because it's talentless. It's just a lot of work and tedious, but anybody can do this, you know. And it's cheap. I think I paid like $13 for 10 different stencils. So the paint actually cost more than the stencils did. But you don't use a lot of paint with this stuff, so. Whatever paint's left over, I'm gonna paint. I'm waiting until I'm done doing my stencil art, but whatever paint's left over, I'm gonna be repainting these roof racks up here. Everything's gonna be black. I tried painting them chrome, but I really don't like it. I think like the black with the black roof looks nice. Everything blends in, and here's another reason for making the roof black. So when I have solar panels up there, you know, the same reason like football players wear like the black under their eyelids or whatever, you're trying to attract the sunlight more to the top of the van. And that should, you know, maybe help with the solar. Get all the sunlight up there. Alright, this should be ready to go now. It's probably going to look like crap still, but you know what? Can't get any worse than it did before I did anything here. I mean, not happy with it, but not happy with it. It is what it is. Yeah, this stencil, I'm not going to use this one again. I think the bigger everything is, the worse it looks. When everything's a little bit smaller, like how these trees are like a lot smaller, it comes out better. When everything's big, it just looks like shit. But if I just do a bunch of them on top of each other, it'll look like a Picasso painting. You know? Well, from the distance, it doesn't look bad, but if you get close up on it, it looks like shit. I'm not happy with it. Alright, I gotta set this down to dry. So these are the same ones I use there. So I'm kind of... See, I already did that one there. It's not gonna... I'm trying to get rid of the lines. Actually, you know what? Do flip this around. Is that right there? By the way, everybody, when I got home, I checked my YouTube analytics, and apparently I'm only 1,300 watch hours away from being able to monetize. So that would be kind of cool. If I hit that, you know, before I move into the van. I know it wouldn't be a lot of money, but I didn't even know that was going to be an option anytime soon, so I guess if I do more of these like live work streams, I do like a bunch of these van build streams, maybe I'll get there rather than posting, you know, 20-minute videos. I think what I could do is I could do a lot of stuff if I could prop the camera up inside the van when I'm working on it. I could do those live, but then like when I'm done with the van, I can go back and reclip all of my videos and just make one really good 40-minute video of the entire van build in one video. So I think I could do that. And I'm thinking maybe over the course of about a month, I should be able to hit 1,300 in watch hours. Maybe. I don't know, can I go over this with paint? Oh, I can. Okay, it's pretty much dry. I just won't push down hard on it. Yeah, this glove sucks. Oh my god, this glove's horrible. Alright, I can't use a glove when using tape with that. I'm not going to push down right there because fuck it all up. No, I'm not going to have a hot water heater in the van. I don't really need one because I don't have a shower. And if I need to heat water up for something, I'll be able to do it, you know, like I can make boiling water for like coffee and tea and stuff like that. I will have a water pump to my sinks, and then there's going to be a hose in the back of the van, which is all connected to a 30-gallon tank. So I'll be able to take like cold showers in summertime out the back of the van if I go do like some activities or something, but I don't really, you don't need hot water in summertime. Wintertime, well, all year round actually, I'll be taking showers at gyms, mostly. Unless I'm traveling somewhere and I gotta use a truck stop, but more than likely I'd just wait till I got to my destination. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Like, I noticed like people on YouTube more than anywhere else, like more than when I was on Facebook and stuff. Like, for whatever reason on YouTube, people care more about like your finances than like I do. Like, I think people care more about my finances than I care about my finances. If I'm not asking people for money or donations or anything, it shouldn't matter. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do regardless. I have no issue making money, from YouTube ads, from views. Nobody's spending their own money out of pocket to help me. They're just enjoying the content and the entertainment. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but definitely not something I'm going to be counting on. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky one day and I'll put together some pretty neat videos and I'll get a lot of people that want to watch them. If I'm lucky. We'll see. Right now is kind of like the boring stage. We're in the building phase right now. This is kind of boring to most people, but I'll be investing in like a really nice drone, so when I'm traveling somewhere in the mountains, I'll be able to have like one of those drones follow my van as I'm driving it. So that would be cool. Like I'll make some really awesome edits when the time comes. Let that dry. Buy bananas? Nah. I heard you can get like your channel nuked for doing that. No, it's alright. No, I'm sure I'll get genuine watchers eventually when the algorithms start pushing my videos up there. Right now it's kind of hard to get it's hard for me right now to get my channel into the van life category, I guess, until I start posting actual van living videos. I mean, I'm sure there's an algorithm for van building, but it'll take some time. Will you be live streaming the renovations being done? Well, yeah, I'm thinking about it now. I wanted to record most of it, and because I like editing the videos and stuff, it takes kind of the fun out of it for me if I can't edit the videos. But with needing 1,200 or 1,300 watch hours, I think I would get there pretty quickly if I did do live streams from making renovations on the inside of the van, for sure. That's where most of the hard work's going to be going into right there, so. But another cool thing that I can get to if I'm monetized, not even as much for the money, but I remember when I was monetized, you have like extra cool features in the YouTube studio, which is cool. I did like having the memberships for, having like special videos. It was cool seeing people that were members of the channel. All that stuff was kind of fun. I can do like merchandise on my page then, like if I had bumper stickers or t-shirts, stuff like that. You could do like a little store on your YouTube page. It's a lot easier to edit your videos, I think, as well, from what I remember. So, I mean, it'd be cool, I think. I hope that doesn't make it to down there. why this isn't like sticking properly. There's like a lot of white still. I might have to go over it with another coat once this cures. Yeah, I still had the nasty vape. That's why I drove the PA today. I had to go get vape juice. Relax, everybody. Everybody relax. Positive vibes. Surprised I didn't run into any followers. From where? I don't even think I have any catches in PA from like when I used to do like predator hunting. Not in that part of PA. I did a catch in PA with Shafiq before, from what I remember. I have like 500 people on my page. I'd be lucky to run into one of the 500 people in real life. It'd be like hitting the lottery. Alright, so I need to hit these trees again and the deer. I don't know why this isn't. It's like dripping, it's not like sticking to it the way I want it to. Maybe it will this time. Let me go grab my clear coat real quick because I could actually go over this for now with clear coat. We're gonna get paint everywhere today. Get it everywhere. How's this come out? Okay. Technically, I could do that too. Fucking killed that shit. Yeah, I mean, hey, in Jersey, I have respect for you, man. I appreciate your concern, dude. I promise you, if I was concerned about not having money to survive or whatever the case may be, I simply just wouldn't be doing this at all. I wouldn't take the risk, but I don't put all my business on the internet, but I will let you know that I have more than enough money to be able to survive. The only reason that I don't have a lot of money right now is because I took my savings and spent it on everything involved to get the van. So I had a bunch of money saved up to do this, and I knew buying the van was going to take a huge chunk of change initially, but it's actually cheaper for me to live in the van than paying rent. Like, I've been paying over, like, with including, like, you know, utilities and stuff and rent, I've been paying probably about $800, $900 a month for rent for the last year and a half. living in the van, and that's including like gas to get to and from work. Like I've been consistently now for months driving an hour each way to and from work. So you figure plus all of my rent expenses, I've been also paying for fuel every single day. When I'm living in the van, I don't have that $800 utilities and rent payment anymore at all. I still have to keep fuel in the van, whether I have an apartment or not, and I'll be living closer to my job, so I won't be driving an hour to and from work anymore. So I'm actually going to end up saving a lot of money when I move into the van. Now, if the van needs to be fixed or something like that, it's not a big deal because I'm going to have a savings account so I can get like a hotel room for a couple days while they work on my van if I need to. Or it's just this easy fix. I can just pay to have it fixed immediately. But the other cool thing too is like if the van did break down on me and I'm in a safe location, and like say the mechanic shop can't get it in for a few days, I can literally still live out of my van with it broken down because I'm building it that way. Everything in the back of this van will be self-sufficient, solar energy. Also going to have like a little tiny diesel generator. If I needed, if I wasn't getting solar, I can plug that in to my inverter. I got pretty much everything mapped out in terms of being able to survive on the road full time. I'm not saying I won't have issues, in the future. I'm sure I will. Everybody does that does this, but it would be nice, to be able to just save my money each month. Not have to spend it on a rent bill, especially when I'm not. The only time I'm in my RV is when I'm sleeping at night. I don't even cook in there anymore. I cook in the house and I'm chilling in the office, usually either doing video game streams or streaming or whatever. So it doesn't really make much sense. I need to change my license plate to Y Rent. And also, I think I'm doing it right. I'm starting small. Like, I don't have, huge dreams of grandeur and starting out into van life. Most people, when they get into van life, they immediately think that they have to get, a beautiful, huge, Dodge Sprinter van with the roof, and it has to have a roof on it. I settled for something within my price bracket, something that I can start out on. And who knows, maybe in 2 years from now, my YouTube channel will be big and it will allow me to upgrade my vehicle that I live in. That's what I see a lot of different van lifers doing that. Trent the Traveler is a perfect example. He's been living in his same van now for about 4 years, I think. Creating content. Now he's huge, and he took his YouTube money and reinvested it into his channel and got himself that brand new 2022 Mercedes Sprinter van that he's currently building out. Same thing, Truck House Life. He just got himself a $50,000 350 Power Stroke diesel 95 truck. So I mean, you got to start somewhere. You got to start small. And I felt like this was the smallest I could start to where I would be comfortable residing in my van full time. I didn't want to do it in a small, SUV or a soccer mom van. That would be too small. I got something I knew I would be comfortable in. And this is definitely something that I would be able to turn into a comfortable and cozy living space. It'll take a lot of work, for sure. But, I think the hardest and most challenging thing with building this out for me is going to be the carpentry work, which I know enough about how to build things, because I've done it before, to get myself started. And then, of course, I have people that are willing to help me through it. So I think I'll be able to get everything exactly on the inside as to how I want it to be. Like, whatever designs are in my head, like, that's the way it will be. It'll just take, you know, some effort. And I used to have a 66 VW camper van. Uh-oh, hold on. Going away. Hurricane. Jesus Christ, dude, like, chill out, Lynn. Fuck. Pretty sure I'm not living in Florida anymore. Chill out. Wish I still had it. It was worth about $20,000. I saw a really nice VW. It was like an orange van or whatever. It was on OfferUp. I think it was around that price too, but those are kind of cool. There's a guy out there that does van life in one of those, and it's always cool watching him. He even has like a little tiny mini fireplace in it. Yeah, those are pretty cool. In an ideal world, if I was like, you know, crazy rich, I would have bought a bus, like a half bus or something, and converted it. But something like this, especially with it being a V8, like, that makes the gas a little bit more affordable for those longer trips. It's better in gas mileage. Like, for example, today I did a total driving of 3 hours and 15 minutes, non-stop driving pretty much, on highway and off highway, you know, going down off highway and then coming back on highway. I only spent a quarter a tank in fuel in this van. That's pretty good. That drive in my Mazda usually would be around $25. I put $20 in this thing to fill it back up, so it actually ended up being a little bit cheaper. But my Mazda was terrible on gas because of all the issues it had. You should have Tammy call the mechanic. Wait, who's Tammy? Japanese. Yeah, when I say Japanese, I just mean I'm going to try and incorporate like a bunch of bamboo and like style wood, and the ceiling for sure. Wider spaces. Still going to go with like a darker stained wood interior on the walls. I think that darker stained wood gives it more of a cabin-y feel. It's a little bit cozier feeling when you're inside of it. It's got warmer tone to it. But then that ceiling being that lighter color kind of opens it up a little bit more and brings a little bit more light into it. I am getting everything removed from the van either tomorrow when I go to work or Thursday. It's going to be either tomorrow or Thursday. It just depends how quickly he can get his helper to come help him. Because I'm not going to be able to help them at all. I'm going to be working, and I'm not allowed to like go out and help them. They don't care if they come to my job to do it, but I just can't help them. So hopefully, I'm hoping tomorrow. Not that it really matters, because I can't really start buying materials to start the build until next Wednesday, but I would just like to get everything out of there. I'd feel like I'm one step closer to starting the interior build. And then I can clean it. I gotta really clean that thing. Fortunately, I got all the cleaning supplies I need already. I might even like try and pressure wash the inside of it once it's empty. Just go in there with the pressure washer and, you know, make sure everything's dry after, but it probably needs a good pressure washing. When are you getting the solar panels? That will probably be in week 3 of the build. Because I figure it's probably going to take me a couple weeks to get all the wiring set up for it. The framing, getting some of the structures in, and then like once all that's done, then I can add the solar in, hook that up to the batteries that I'll buy, and actually use my battery pack in there and my inverter to power some of the tools I'm using in the van. How cool is that going to be? Like, when I'm like halfway through the build, I can literally use my own power in my own van off of solar energy to power tools. That's going to be pretty cool. The 3,000 watt inverter, I'll be able to do that. So I won't even have to draw any extra power here at home base. Like, I could just draw it off my own batteries. And then I can kind of test my batteries out, make sure everything's working. Figure if I could run tools with that, then I should be able to run a PS5, a TV, and some lights and an air conditioning unit. Should be about right here. Oh shit, it's not dry. Go over it one more time. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's this part of the van where the paint is, but it just does not want to fully take. I don't know why. I mean, I wiped everything down before I went live with Windex and the towel, so there's no dirt on there. Will you ever catch again? I don't know. I honestly, like, after I lost a place to, like, you know, post my videos on, and I definitely can't really do it on YouTube because it's a matter of time before you get nuked on there too. But once I lost Facebook, you kind of, like, can't really expose people. And I think after having enough time off from it, I'm just kind of, like, done with that chapter in my life. It brought nothing but negative shit to my life over 3 years, for me anyways, and I feel like I've definitely done enough, you know, by myself, and I kind of want to just go enjoy my life and travel and do more positive things with my life. I mean, what I was doing was positive by definition, but it was still very negative. I'm just tired of fighting, you know, with the police, with the DAs. You know, after all that time, it's really hard to make change by yourself, too. Plus, there's plenty of people out there doing it now, so. What if they don't show up to mechanics have already flaked? Well, I will tell you this. The plumbing company that is coming to get the stuff out, they showed up at my job last Wednesday when I was supposed to be at work with their empty box truck to throw everything into it, and I wasn't there. And my boss had to let them know that my van broke down. So they have already once tried to show up to take it out, and I just talked to them on the phone, and now they have my phone number, so they definitely want the stuff. They need it. They just got a brand new van, or not brand new, but they got a much newer version of my van, and rather than pay for brand new shelves and partition and the wall covers, the ceiling covers, the floor covers, they just want my stuff for free and put it in their work van. So they have an incentive to come get it, I think. So they can start using that van. I'm just glad someone actually needs it or wants it. Because if I took it out, it would be sitting here. It would just be taking up a lot of space. And I could try and sell it on OfferUp. I already posted an ad for it for free for someone to come take it out of the van, and no one even responded to me for it. So I doubt like I'd have a better time selling it on there, you know. I tried. I tried doing it for free. Come get it. It's yours if you take it out. Nobody wanted it, so. Feels a lot better with the clear coat. Well, it definitely looks a lot better than it did. Let me see if I can find a picture of what it looked like before I did anything to the side of this van. I know I have a picture in here somewhere. Or it's probably in a video. He didn't post the pictures on his ad of what the van looked like. Look. So this was the ad picture. Notice he cut the picture off from where it was all fucked up with the paint peeling on it. And these pictures were actually taken like months before, because he was trying to sell this van for a while. Now it's got damage on the paint on the front door there. So these are like older pictures. I thought I had a picture. I guess I don't. Maybe I took a video of it or something at some point. But this was silver, like giant silver spots. And I tried filling it in with primer and white paint as much as I can. The same color as the van white. And now we're going over it with stencils to try and make it look better. But that's what I'm saying. Like, anything I'm doing now is so much better than how it looked when I got it. Like, I tried sanding everything down as much as I could without chipping off even more paint. It's not going to be perfect. I rather invest all of my money on the inside of the van, making the inside look like a freaking model home out of a magazine, than spend any high amount of dollar on the outside of it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't care as much what the outside looks like. I care about what the space looks like where I'm going to be residing. So my next project is going to be this back door here, where there's a lot of peeling paint as well. I got to sand it down, fill it in like I did this side. I got to take my license plate back off again so I don't get paint on it. Got to fill it in and figure out what I'm going to do on the back. I might just use the splatter stencils on the back doors. Once I go over it with the white paint. And then I'll do more murals on the other side, the same space. Actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't do a mural on the other side. For one, the paint on the other side is a lot better than this side. Like, I'll show you guys a picture of the other side of the van. It's a lot better. I just got one spot I got to fill in. Where'd that picture go? Where is it? It's here somewhere. I just had this picture pulled up. I don't know where it went. So there's only like one spot on the... Oh, here. Okay. All right, pause. So this is what it looked like before I painted it. I don't know if you all can see it, but you can see the silver. And then I filled it in. That's what this side looked like. The other side only has like one little silver spot, and then the rest of it, there's no paint peeling. So I may not even do any stencil art in the other side, because eventually I'd like to put a window on the other side, which means I would have to cut out part of the wall over there. So it would look stupid if I did a stencil and ended up having to cut out like half of the stencil to install a window. Because I want to have like a little tiny window that opens up with the screen on it by where my bed is going to be, where I lay my head at night. And that's something I was planning on doing more towards the end of my van build. So like once you already have everything up on the wall, you can mark it out where you're planning on doing it. So we'll make sure we don't like put any wiring through that way. But then we'll just cut through everything and install it. Cam, have you thought that maybe you should not have a white van as it may hold certain conditions? I like it. I like that it's white, actually. It'll keep it from getting too hot, you know, other than the black roof. But yeah, I like the white. I just wish it didn't have paint peeling. You know, GM really fucked up when they whatever kind of paint they used in primer, like they just like, it's hard to find any vans in this year or around these year vans where the paint's not peeling off of it. And that goes for Chevy, Ford, or GMC. All of them. I've seen vans worse than my van, actually, where it's like starts rusting under the base coat. That's something I gotta do too. I gotta go with like a protective rust-free coat of clear coat under all the way around the van underneath to keep it from rusting when I, you know, go drive through states winter weather and stuff. I'm gonna spray everything down with this clear coat that's like a rust preventer. Give it a coating so it won't rust on me. Because this van will 100% start rusting underneath if I drive through like anywhere that they put salt on the road. Alright, I'm going to try and peel this off now. It should be good now. Oh, you fucking bastard. Look what it's doing. Where's my sponge? Quick, where's my Windex now? This is why I keep Windex. Comes off pretty easy if you get it quick enough. I was worried about it doing that because I did a lot of coats. Come on. There we go, I got it. Before it got worse. I was really worried about that. Oh, come for fuck's sake, dude. I got paint all over my hands. It took me literally a day to get the paint off of my hands from 2 days ago. And now I got paint on my hands again. This paint like sticks to your skin. I know when I fill it in with these splatter stencils, it'll look a lot better. It'll make it all look like it's one giant mural. It's nowhere near close to even being done. I got more stencils coming in the mail than the ones I currently have. Could you imagine if I tried this one? Like, it would just be one giant black glob, probably. That's the other thing that makes it so hard, is everything's just kind of like, you know, it's not a flat surface, so it's like gravity's gonna make everything just go down. I really want to fill this spot in right here. I really want to fill that in, but there's not. Maybe I can get like a paintbrush and spray the end of the paintbrush and go in there. If I tried spraying it, it would just drip. But I have another stencil. I did like more foresty tree stencils as well coming. I was planning on using on other parts of the van. But actually, I could probably do it right here. Like in this section right here. I don't want to use the same stencils like for the whole thing. Mountains are my favorite. I think the mountain stencils are like the best. When you start getting into like more detail and stuff like that, it's a lot harder to get it to cure correctly. I'm gonna spray it all down again with clear coat. Good. Ready? Get this globe off now. Alright, now I can show you guys the up close. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then if I did like the sun like right here, that's coming along. The overspray looks like a fog. Oh yeah, you're right. It does actually. Now that I look at it thinking what you just said, it doesn't look as bad. So in here, I still haven't put the passenger seat back in because I want to get the swivel. But they're going to actually have to take my driver's seat out to get this out when they come work on it. So it'll be a lot easier if I don't put my passenger seat back in, at least till this is out and I clean everything. I'm actually considering ripping this mat out of here when I go to clean it and cutting it just to right here. Actually, I don't even have to cut it. It's two separate pieces. I want to clean it really well, but I do want to put this original rubber back in the driver's section of the vehicle. Because it, like, you know, if I have any mud on my shoes or anything, I'd rather get it on here than on vinyl flooring. Originally, I was going to do vinyl flooring all the way up here and just cut it out, but then I seen like how the surfaces are just kind of bunched up. You wouldn't be able to do vinyl flooring there and it would end up looking stupid. So I'm just keeping the rubber in here, but I'm going to take it out, clean it, put it back in. And then from like right here, basically to the back, it's all going to be vinyl flooring all the way to the back. So once I get this rubber out of here, underneath it's just plain white metal. That's another thing too, just so you all know, behind everything that's covered in here, so like behind all of this plastic, like I was able to look it's hard to see because it's dark in here right now, but I took a flashlight and looked. Everything behind all of this plastic insulation in the van looks almost brand new white. Like it's probably going to be very clean, even under the flooring and the ceiling. So I won't have to do a lot of cleaning on the walls. Probably just wipe everything down really good. But this protective insulation actually kept the van like a newer quality on the inside. So once all this is out of here tomorrow or Thursday, it's going to look like a whole different van. You all will see it. It's going to look like a completely different van. And this is why they want all of that stuff, because there's also like plumbing tools in there still. There's like a bunch of bolts. That's actually, I don't know what that is, but yeah, I mean, there's stuff in here that they'll use, and then they can put these on their new van too. These were all up in my windows to keep people from breaking into the van to steal stuff. These go under my dash. I just haven't put these back in yet. I was waiting until I can make sure that the van's not going to break down on me. Tire's got to come out of here tomorrow, actually, before I go to work. But I got a full-size spare tire, and then I also got another full-size spare tire with the rim already on it under the van. So if I got a flat tire on the road, it would be very easy for me to change my tire, and it wouldn't be a donut going on it. But unfortunately, when I do move into the van, I think I'm going to only end up with one spare tire because there's no room for this anywhere. There's no room for it. Where am I going to put it? So I'm going to store it at a friend's house in upstate New York. Now, if I ended up with, 2 flat tires somehow, which never really happens, I could just go pick it up, from my friend's house and have it thrown on that way, but you only need one spare tire. I thought about maybe I can fit it on the roof somewhere, but then that would just look stupid. So I don't really need it. There's the passenger seat. But this thing, I'm going to let them take this out because this is all bolted in through the sides, through the roof, the floor. I'm working smarter, not harder. I already know I got like a whole lot of work up ahead of me in building this thing out, and if there's a couple things I don't have to worry about doing, like removing all of this stuff and letting somebody else do it, I'm gonna do that. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Let me see a comment. Yeah, I'm gonna live in the van full time. I want to. It's gonna be a cozy camper van. So I can kind of show you guys a little bit where everything's going to be. Let me move this stuff out of the way so I can step up in here. So it's hard to tell, but with this plastic thing out of here, there's a lot more space behind this on each side. So the bed is basically going to go from here all the way across, which then leaves me with all the rest of this space. But the bed's going to be raised up, so the bed's probably going to be about this height, so like right here, which I still have all this space here, and then I have all this space under it. And then under the bed on this side will be my battery packs. On that back section right there will be where my panel is with all my electrical. And then on this side, under the bed, you can see the tire well. There's that custom 30-gallon water tank, drinking water tank or whatever, that is going to fit and end up looking like a giant box over the wheel well, which I'll cover with wood. And the plumbing for that it'll run along here to where my sink will be, right behind my driver's seat. So the sink's going like right here. And there's going to be a nice shelf or cooking station right here about this height. So, or maybe a little bit higher. It's probably going to be about right here. And then on this side, So the bed goes about to the middle of this wheel well. So from here all the way to right here is going to be a desk that I'm building. So when I'm camping somewhere, I'll be able to open both doors and sit at my desk and have a nice view of whatever surroundings I'm at. And right here on this wall, right next to where the bed is, remember the bed's right here, I'm going to be sleeping with my head on that side of the van, facing this way. Right here, there's going to be a mounted computer monitor / TV screen on a stand that can pull out, and it could face this way towards my bed, or it could pull out this way and kind of position right here to where I'm working at the computer. So that will be cool to have that. I could also have it to where it turns and it faces the front. Hold on. Fucking loud ass trucks all day. That passenger seat will be on a swivel, so it will spin around facing this way, so I'll be able to eat dinner right here facing this side of the van and watch TV, because that will pull out and face that way. So that would be pretty cool. And then up underneath, so the bed's right here, runs across, it's about this high. Underneath, in the middle, in between, I'm building Valentina like her own little bunk bed space underneath. So like if I leave her in the van or something, she'll have her own bed that she can chill in and feel comfortable and safe. And I'm also running like an air duct up under my bed down, so she'll have like either heat or cold air that will be able to flow through that way. Because also right here there's going to be an exhaust fan, and then right here is going to be my max AC unit. Well, it's actually probably going to be right here, and then right here I'd like to do a skylight, so that would be cool. And the toilet, so the bed's right here, so the countertop, you got your countertop all the way to the kitchen where the sink is and all that stuff. Underneath, I'm building a pull-out contraption that comes out with the toilet in it, so you'll be able to sit right here and use the bathroom, and then you push it in when you're not using it. This I haven't decided yet. So I thought about doing like a curtain with, or a wire with blackout curtains that I could just pull to section off the driver area from the living space. But then after watching that video last night with the guy with the same size van that I have, he built a very thin sliding wood panel door that opens and shuts. You can leave it open. So I might actually do that. And I could probably do it with my scrap wood too. I have a bunch of scrap wood that I can measure out, and I've already measured this partition right here. I kind of cheated. I measured this partition to see how big it was, and I can use those specs on when I build mine, which will be wood, and it will look really nice. So, oh shit, I got a fire extinguisher. I didn't even know that. I got a whole ass fire extinguisher in here. I should probably keep it. What else? Oh, right. Yeah, so on the top, over the bed area on both sides, where the ceiling's going to meet the walls, I'm doing a mesh hammock style kind of like storage where I can put my clothes folded up in it. On one side, I can put my baseball hats on the other. In the back of the van, under the center right there, is going to be where my shoes are stored. What else? Trying to think. What else? There's going to be a lot of storage under the bed area. Unfortunately, that corner is going to be plumbing and the shower for the outside, and the easy access point to be able to access my plumbing and the water pump and all that, the water filtration system, and then the same thing on that side where the electrical box is going to be power supply. But anything from there to the middle is all storage. I have plenty of storage in this thing. And especially with the desk being built out here, I'll be able to build, you know, whatever kind of storage I want from the bed all the way over. I think I'm going to do like sliding doors though. I'm not going to do cabinets, you know, like except for where the toilet pulls out, everything will be on a hinge. It will slide open. So instead of having to worry about opening a cabinet, it'll just slide open. Which is actually pretty easy to make. It's not complicated. And there's tons of YouTube videos out there that teach you how to do it too if you need help. Oh look, here's a piece of a sawzall blade. What do you think your monthly cost will be in the van? Probably less than what I'm spending right now because I won't have a $800 a month rent and utility payment. I don't know. I'm not using like the fuel in the van. I'm not running the van to live in here. It's all solar. Mostly solar. And then when I drive to and from work, it charges my batteries up too with the alternator. So, get this bunch of cable off of this. Yeah, this guy just like left everything in here. I don't even know what this goes to. What is this? It looks like some kind of compressor. I'm assuming it came off of the van. Oh, nice. I got a leveler that's broken. Could use it like a ruler, I guess. I'm just going to give this to the plumbing people. Oh, it's not broken. It works. I'm just going to let them have everything in here except for the tire, my seat, and then my jumper cables. I'm keeping it in the van. I'll just let them take everything. Most of this stuff's very dirty and just grungy. I would just buy new shit, including this fire extinguisher over there. It probably doesn't even work. No, you don't have to climb over the bed to get out because I would be exiting and entering the van through this door. Or, you know, the front doors, of course. What will be cool about the bed in the back is, like, if I'm parked at, like, a beach or a lake, I can open those two back doors all the way up and lay in my bed and just enjoy the scenery from my bed. And the window that I'm going to be putting in is going to be... It's going to be like one of those narrow RV style windows that open with the slider, and it'll have a screen in it, but that's going to go literally right there, right over the bed. So I'll have a little bit of ventilation that can open, and then with the exhaust fan blowing air in, or vice versa, sucking air out, and it'll, you know, you'll get some nice wind flow through that window. Unfortunately, none of these windows open. None of these windows open. Now, if I got the passenger van model of this GMC Savannah, then there would be two windows over there, and they all would crack at least an inch open. But none of these windows open, so I got to create my own windows. Well, the front window's open, but that does me no good when I'm back here. No, I don't think it would cost me $1,500 a month to live in the van. Hell no. I don't even spend that now with $800 a month in bills, like rent bills or whatever. I don't spend a lot of money on food because I eat for free at my job. I work 5 nights a week. And I get to eat for free, so I usually 5 nights out of the week cook myself something to eat from my job and take that home with me. And yeah, I mean, like, I probably spend roughly between treats, bones, and food for my dog about $200 a month on my dog. And food-wise, I probably spend roughly about the same on myself each month. I don't go grocery shopping, and I definitely won't when I have the van. You're limited on storage space, so you're not going to be able to store a lot other than like non-perishable items, but I definitely won't spend anything close to $1,500 a month. I spend roughly about, I'd say $80 a week in gas getting to and from work, and I live an hour away, so it's an hour each way, so 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I spend $80 a week in fuel, and then when I'm living in the van, I'm only going to live, you know, within 15 to 20 minutes away from my job, so I could actually stay at my job some nights too. If I wanted to save on some money, I could just camp out in their parking lot, so I won't have the fuel expense. And then if I'm sitting somewhere, I'm not running the van while I'm sitting, because I have batteries in the back charged off of solar, so I'm not even using fuel to run the van. I'm getting free energy. So I don't know. I'll probably be able to save a lot of money, like I said. Now, if I start traveling full time, you know, I start traveling the country, then yeah, I would end up spending a lot more money in fuel, but I'm not planning on doing that for another 6 or 5 months once I move into it. And then after that, I'll actually have a lot of money saved up from not paying a bunch of bills. And I'll have a really good remote job when I do that. Because I'm not going to start doing that until I already have a remote job. But I will say, on the weekends, when I got 2 days off from work, I am planning on doing mini traveling camping road trips where I might drive from New York to Vermont for a weekend, or I might drive to New Hampshire, where it's only like a 4.5, 5 hour drive. It's nothing crazy. So I might end up spending slightly a little bit more in gas, I guess, but I'm making content and going and enjoying myself for those 2 days. Definitely want to go on some like road trips, you know, as much as I can when I can, so I can get used to living in the van, get a lot of experience in traveling to new places. It'll be a lot of fun. So I said it the other night, you may not have heard it, but my only bills that I'm going to have once I officially move into the van full time is a $165 a month Starlink bill, which is unlimited roaming Wi-Fi with Starlink, which is a necessity for living in the van. A $60 a month phone bill at Verizon, which includes also an unlimited hotspot. So if, you know, it's a rainy night and I don't have Starlink internet, I can use my hotspot if I have phone service there. And then $107 a month for full coverage car insurance. Other than just living expenses like, you know, food here or there, dog food, dog treats, gas for the van, every 3 months, you know, getting an oil changed on the van, stuff like that, like, obviously is incorporated, but I don't really know how much it's going to be. I just know it's not going to be anything more than what I'm already putting out. So I also have the luxury of controlling where I live at, where I go. So obviously for the first couple of months, I'm going to stay close to my job in case I have any issues with the van. Like if my van broke down, I could easily just take a taxi to my job, and I have a friend that will take Valentina for me until I get the van fixed. That's kind of like my plan right there. Now, if I'm out on the road somewhere, by that time I already have a decently sized savings account, and I can afford a hotel room, you know, for however long until they get the van fixed. I can afford to get the van fixed, that sort of thing. But I'm hoping to be able to do most of my work on the van. I think I proved to myself yesterday that I'm more than capable of diagnosing and fixing my own vehicle. Except for like major things where I need it at a shop in order to work on it, of course. But I think like maintenance, I could probably even do my own oil changes. I know how to do oil changes. I've done one before on my Mazda. It's not hard, but it's going to be hard to do your own oil changes when you're out on the road, so you got to pay for it. It's probably going to be no more than like $100 for an oil change in this van. My Mazda was about $80 for an oil change, so I'm estimating the size of the vehicle probably about $100. But yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you, Jersey. Like, I'm moving into a van not to spend more money, but to save money. Now, one of the trade-offs with that, unfortunately, is you're giving up the luxury of having a nice size apartment or a house, or in my case, I live in a much bigger RV. You're giving that up to be in a more confined space, which is a con for sure. But for me, it's not. I don't mind. I can live in a confined space perfectly fine. The pros, though, are the freedom of being able to go anywhere you want to go, when you want to go somewhere, having some of the most scenic and beautiful places to live at, and change your destination and your views every night. You could be at a different place every night. Having the luxury of just basically being on a extended vacation all the time, not having a lot of expensive bills. Now, if I had a more expensive vehicle or like a diesel van or something, I'd probably end up spending a lot of money, you know, keeping that maintained and putting fuel in it and all that stuff. But like I said, I got myself a van I knew I could handle cost-wise. By the way, what do you guys think about the stencil art? Did it come out okay? I mean, I did the best I could do with what I had to work with. The paint of the base coat of the van doesn't really make it easy to paint over. That's why I said too, if I can get monetized on YouTube even before I live in the van. I remember when I first got monetized on YouTube, the first month or 2 months, I was making $100 to $200 a month in views and super chats and monetizations. Like, say, hypothetically, I move into the van and the first week I start posting content and, you know, I'm getting views on videos, of course. That would be a nice extra $50, $100 that month I can throw towards Valentina's, you know, dog treats or whatever. So that would be cool. It's like an extra income. It's not guaranteed, but it's extra. I mean, regardless of if I'm monetized or not, I'm still posting videos, so it doesn't really change what I'm doing. Definitely probably gives me a little bit more motivation to make sure my videos are a lot better, but I mean, I already try and do that now. Close up, yeah. Yeah, it looks like most of it came out pretty good. There's some blobs and shit that I don't like, but it's not done yet. Like I said, I got a different stencil I ordered that I'm going to put here. And like once this is done, I'll probably go to about right here. Fill all that in. And then the splatter stencils that I put on top of all of this and just kind of spray, you know, spots. So it'll kind of fill in, like, see how I accidentally got like splatter spots everywhere with the black paint? It'll be like that, but on purpose everywhere. So it'll kind of make the mural pop out at you a little bit more. If I can get a nice sun stencil, I'll do what that person suggested with the sun. I'll get like a nice orange reddish color with some yellow and do my sunrise in between the mountains there. I think that would be pretty cool. So it needs a cam, the Nomad's. Well, that's what I was saying. If, you know, one of the logos that I made, if I end up with a favorite, I can actually have a custom stencil made on Amazon of my logo, and then just get the color paint that I need for my stencil and just spray paint that on. I was definitely thinking about doing like a nice square, good sized logo, and then I can get a QR code sticker and put it underneath my logo where people can scan it and it'll take you to my YouTube channel. And then on my YouTube channel I'll have all my other social links, so I only have to do one QR code. That would be cool. Definitely want to do one of those in the back door. Or I could just get a bumper sticker made. To paint it on. Alright, I gotta start cleaning some of this up before it gets dark out. There's like these weird gnats out tonight. We haven't really had bugs or anything because it's been cold, but there's like gnats flying around out here tonight because it's warm enough. I'm gonna have bug screens on the double doors and on the back doors that drop down, so I'll be able to keep my doors open if it's nice out like it is today. Enjoy the nice breeze, fresh air. Trying to get all this cleaned up real quick while I can see. Yeah, I'm done doing the stencil stuff today. I got as much on there as I could. I don't want to use a duplicate stencil here, and the only other one I have that I didn't use, I think is going to be too much of a blob, so I'm not going to bother with it. It wouldn't look right next to all that. This would all be black. It would look bad. So when I get my nice fern tree stencils in where there's smaller trees and everything, it'll look a lot nicer. It'll look more like this, like smaller trees. Those turn out better. The smaller they are, the better it turns out. I gotta go do laundry, so I have clothes to wear for work tomorrow. Assuming I cut this out of my van, so trash. And I'm definitely going to do a game stream tonight because I haven't done one of those in a hot minute. I was going to do one last night, but by the time I ended my live, it was like already 3 a.m. I knew I had to drive today, so I'll try and do one of those tonight. I'm excited for that too, man. Like, that's one of my favorite things to do when I'm not working and I'm home. I love doing gaming, well, I just like playing like either the show or Spider-Man or whatever games I'm playing at the time. That's going to be really fucking fun to do from, like, you know, the side of the lake or a mountain. And those are going to be fun. I think, like, when I'm doing the game streams, it's going to be like how it is now, but when I post my videos on this channel each week, it will show clips of me, like, you know, just living out of the van, which will include, like, people will be able to see, like, oh, I remember watching that game stream from a week ago, and you'll actually be able to see in the video on this channel where I was playing that game at, which will be pretty cool. And get to see the cool scenery and find the most random and unlikely places to go do game streams at. Can you park in front of the White House? Is there street parking in front of the White House? Probably not. That'd be funny. Game stream from in front of the White House. Secret Service knocks on your window. What are you doing in here? I'm playing MLB The Show. No, what are you really doing? God, these stencils are still fucking wet. So actually, I gotta take this trash out because it's trash night. So this is perfect. Start throwing some of this away. I guess I should probably keep my old distributor just in case. So I have it for reference. I don't know. At least I have something I could show a mechanic that I took off of my vehicle in case I need it for whatever reason. See what the condition of it is. Alright, now I can put all my paints in this box. Amazing. I don't think paint does well in the cold weather. Yeah, see, look, I still have my white paint. I gotta get more of this paint, but this is what I use to fill in the spots on the van, and there's enough in here to probably finish this side of the van and maybe start on the back, but I gotta get more of this on after Wednesday. So I haven't really done much with that yet. And this can of paint costs like $18 for a can, and they're very small. So I gotta wait till after Wednesday this week to get that. So I'm not in a rush for the outside of the van. The outside of the van is what it is. It is what it is. The parts of the videos that I make and that you all will end up seeing is going to be from the inside of the van, or like out of the van actually doing stuff that's not in the van. Trash can out real quick. I'll be right back, guys. I'm just trying to get things cleaned up before it gets too dark to see. By the way, that little stand I bought at the dollar store fucking sucks and it doesn't work. The legs fucking don't even hold up the weight of its own fucking gimbal, let alone my gimbal. It doesn't even work. I got you all propped up right now actually on my old distributor cap. See? That's what I got my phone leaning on, and it's on a ladder. I have to use a ladder and that as my gimbal. It worked though. See? This fucking thing is so fucking cheap, and it's all plastic. There's not a single piece of metal on this except for maybe that screw in there. But it doesn't, you put the phone on it and the legs don't fucking stay. And then this is the bracket you put the phone in. Fucking cheap. It was only $5, but I was hoping I was going to be able to take this and put it on my gimbal. So, fucking waste of money. Five Below though, they have like gimbal stands I can get that I can actually use on my gimbals, so I'll have to stop at a Five Below and get it. At least their stuff's not plastic, you know. It's not cheap plastic that's gonna fucking break. I'm just gonna toss this in here. Wow, I don't have a single pocket in these sweatpants. That's nice. Not a single pocket. Get only Vans for your plate. Unfortunately, I can't really do much with my license plate because the Florida Bucks plates have, all the plates have to start with the letter B. I could probably get a whole different license plate, but I like my Bucks plate, man. Especially when I'm going to be traveling the country with it. I want people to know I'm a Bucks fan. I could probably get a front plate made custom, though. But don't forget, we got to do magnets for urban area stealth camping. And we got to come up with a funny but somewhat believable business name for whatever company it is that the van is supposed to be with. Like the van has to be under disguise. I was thinking something to do with plumbing, just because the van was a plumbing van last before I got it. And that would make sense as to what kind of style roof racks are on it and the way it looks. It's got character to it. Will the green stencil reduce emission? Probably not. No, it's going to add to it for sure. So I'm also thinking, I was trying to picture where I was going to put my exhaust for my diesel heater. And you'll see how the diesel heater, I mean the van exhaust is there, right? I bet you I could probably run my diesel exhaust coming right here, because you would want to put both exhausts on the same side, right? I got that right, I think. You want both exhausts to come out the same side, and then on the other side, you could do your intake for the diesel heater, where it's like away from back here. Because I don't want to be sucking in my exhaust from either into the van. So I was thinking about doing the exhaust right there, or maybe even back here I could run it next to that one. It's just going to be a little cylinder pipe that sticks out the bottom of the van, and then on the other side, close by the driver section, maybe I could do the intake. The air conditioning's easy. That goes on the roof. That's away from everything. But the diesel heater is important. Very important. But look at all the work I got to do back here, man. Horizontal run plumbing. JD's plumbing, sir. Oh my god. I got to sand all of this down, man. Look how bad the paint is. Look at this. It doesn't take much. It just chips right off. All of this. It's got to get sanded, spray painted in. But see, look, I got this whole entire space right here. I was thinking a stencil, but then I was like, nah, that would look kind of dumb. But maybe if I got a stencil made of my logo, I think right here would be perfect for my logo for the van. Cam the Nomad right here. And I could do I could do different color paint, you know, to make it look like it's supposed to. But look how wide these doors open. You open all the way up. All the way up, both sides. So when I'm camped out somewhere, I would back up to like a lake or a river, wherever it is that I am. I would back up. And my bed, you can get a good, here, let me back up the camera a little bit. So halfway up in the van is where the bed is. and there would be a drop down bug screen curtain that would come down and magnet right into the base of the van right there. And I could literally lay right in bed, play MLB The Show on my TV right there, and enjoy the view of the wherever it is that I'm at. And I'm also gonna do I'm gonna bring some very long either bungee cables or some kind of strap that I can hook to the top of the door here, and then I can run it literally right up to that hole and that roof rack to hold my doors open from if it's windy wherever I'm at, so my doors aren't blowing shut. That's all you need, really, I think. But something simple to keep the doors open, because you know, like, most of those places are going to be windy as hell. But yeah, all of this has got to come out. All of this. This is going to come out. This whole thing. Look how dirty this van is. Oh my god. But this rubber mat comes all the way up, and that's what the underneath looks like. It's going to be bare bones. No, Matt. They were supposed to last Wednesday, and then I ended up not showing up to work because my van wouldn't work. They tried. They showed up, and I wasn't there. So it was actually my fault. They're coming tomorrow or on Thursday. For whatever reason, he said they were unavailable on Wednesday, probably because one of the guys that's helping him isn't working, but they're coming tomorrow or Thursday. Trust me, I want to get all of this shit out of here. The plastic, all of it. All of this needs to come out. And right in this little space here is where I'm building my electrical panel. This plastic won't be here anymore, so it's gonna be my breaker box right in here with my inverters, and my batteries will be all on the ground right here at the back. And then my solar will just be run from behind all of the insulation, and all the electrical wiring will be behind the wood walls. And it'll just drop down into this box right here to the batteries. And the solar will be on the back of the roof up top. But yeah, all of this under here, so the bed will go like about right here, which still leaves me with quite an amount of space. I could actually probably go a little bit higher with the bed. Probably go about right here. And I still have all that headroom for when I'm in the bed. And then I have all this storage space underneath. So I could do like, I really do a lot. Like if I did the bed about slightly, like where that hole is right there, if I did it about that height, and look at all the space I'd have. Working your pipes, plumbing. Oh, plumbing's easy, man. In fact, there's not going to be even any plumbing needed on this side of the van. I kept things simple because a lot of van builds, they'll put their sink by the front door so it's easier to empty their gray water tank. What I'm doing is the water tank will sit right over that tire. It's going to fit right over it because it's shaped to go over a tire wall. And back here is going to be my water pump, you know, all the piping, which is going to run behind the walls. And it will go to the kitchen, which is, the kitchen sink is right behind the driver's seat up there, the very top. And then under will be pipe PVC that runs into a gray water tank, which I can fit one. I can fit a pretty decent sized one under the van. So if I can find one that fits under my van with the perfect specs, I'll do that. If not, I'll just do like a 5-gallon gray water tank under the cabinet, under the sink. But then back here, like right in this area, there's going to be a hose, one of those retractable hose things with the regular hose spigot on it, where I could take showers at the back of the van. And there's going to be a button here by the water pump or whatever that I can flick on to turn the water pump on, power to it. And then there will also be one by the sink. So it's gonna, plumbing's the easiest thing. It's just a question of, am I gonna drill a hole under the van into a gray water tank under the van, or am I going to just keep a 5-gallon drain under the sink But here's what you got to think about. As cool as it would be to have a bigger gray water tank under the van, when I do winter camping, I'm going to have to make sure that thing's empty because it's going to freeze and could break. If I do it in the van, then everything will always stay warm enough and not freeze over. So that's why I'm putting my drinking water and everything in the van. Just thinking of names for your stealth camping plumbing business. Bed headroom, that's what... Look how long it is. Alright, so I'm not going to do it right now because it would be really gross for me to even try and lay down. And even if I wanted to, I couldn't because that's in the way. But when I get everything out of here, I will set my camera up at the front of the van facing this way, and I will lay straight out and show you guys how much space there is side to side. Now, your head is probably going to touch the back of the wall, and your feet are definitely going to touch that side easily, but I don't sleep that way. I don't sleep straight out like I'm laying in a coffin. I'm like bunched up. And because the bed is going to be long enough or wide enough, I can actually put my head here and lay on an angle that way. And if I wanted to stretch all the way out, I can. And more than likely, that's how I'll be laying anyways when I have the TV up there. If I'm watching TV or something. Shitters full plumbing. Name with double... Yes, that would be good. What else? So somebody told me I should just keep this roof lining that's already in here that came with the van. Someone said I should just keep this and I could repaint it if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna do that because for one, it looks like shit and it looks like a utility van, and two, I have to insulate under this for one, and I want to do wood. So the whole ceiling's going to be wood. And I'm going to do little circle cutouts for the lights all the way down. I think all my lighting on the ceiling will be on dimmers. So I'll be able to dim my lights. And I'm going to use LED lights that I can change the colors. So I'll be able to do soft white lights in here, but I can also change them like in the office, like to different colors. And then I'm also going to be running like a LED strip lights all the way around the roof, which will kind of protrude out from the sides of the ceiling, which will give it like a drop down ceiling effect. It's gonna, guys, I'm telling you, like, with how the van looks like right this instance compared to how it's gonna look in 7 weeks from now, you're not even gonna recognize this van now versus then. You're like, even the size of the van, you're gonna, like, once I have everything built out, it's gonna end up making the van look a hell of a lot bigger because of everything that's in it. It's just gonna be amazing. And I pay $0 in rent. That's the best part. I'll pay $0 to live in a luxury camper van. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for a luxury camper van. I'm not talking about the van itself. It's obviously far from a luxury camper van, but the interior, when you're inside and you got the doors shut and you can't see what the outside of the van looks like, it's going to have that vibe of like a luxury cabin camper. Oh, I haven't told you all where I want to put the little wood fire stove. So the wood fire stove is going to go somewhere right here on top of the counter, and I have to basically lay sheet metal under it, and I'm going up the back of the wall. And then the chimney is going to go straight up the ceiling, right out the side here. I'm going to cut a hole, and it's going to go straight up. It's probably actually going to be about the size of this PVC pipe right here, just a lot lighter. This is heavy. So it's going to go up there, and then it's going to sit right here. And the wood fire stove is no bigger than probably this bucket right here, if you were to like flip it upward. And that's nice because it's right by my bed. It'll keep me warm at night. It's cozy. So that's going to go right there. I forgot, I didn't tell people that. It's basically going to be over where the toilet is. Your mom's favorite plumber. Oh my God. Your mom's favorite plumber. That's funny. Yeah, now I could actually store the magnets if because they're going to be a pretty decent size. I'm going to just slap them on the roof somewhere. Like right on the metal roof. That's where I'll store them at. They won't go anywhere up there. That way I don't damage them inside the van, crinkling them up and taking up space. Yeah, definitely the magnets are a great idea. Make the van look like it belongs, right? Makes it look like no one's in the back of it living. Except for the chimney sticking out the top of it. But then again, that could be fucking anything, right? It could just be an exhaust van. Maybe it's that type of utility van where we require an exhaust in it. So maybe it's like in my best interest just to let the van be as beat up as it is and not waste any more money on trying to, you know, fix the appearance of the outside of it. Like I got my stencil art in on the one side, which looks really cool. I'm going to be putting a little window in right there eventually, right there within the 8-week mark. But I think leaving it beat up is probably a smart idea, because that definitely does open up more possibilities for camping in urban areas. Yeah, you can see right here, that's the only damage on this side. But right here, so the bed is going to be basically from here to probably about here, or maybe a little bit shorter, so like right here. So there's not enough dirt to draw a line, but from here to the back of the van is the bed. So the little window I want to do, I'm going to put it like right here, and it's probably about that big, like a little bubble window. But the other thing I was thinking about too is if I can find one that's not crazy expensive, like this entire thing right here is meant for a window. I could also put another window here that's would really open up the interior, but I don't have to do it right now. I can wait into the future. But it's nice to have the option to doing it. You can see, you can't see into my van. I got tinted windows. Pretty tinted, but all this has got to be repainted with the white paint. I'm at least going to fill all this in with white and sand it. The front of the van's kind of torn up. Same thing here. The hood. I tried doing here, but I got to go over it again. But I mean, like, GM really did a fucking shitty job of painting this van. Real shitty job. This is new. I don't even know how this happened. This just, I came out here one day and this was like this. I wonder if somebody was like peeling on my van or something. I don't know. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream. I'm going to do a game stream later. I appreciate you all for being here. You all are awesome. And I'll see you all on the flip side.